No way he just said this. New York Knicks elite defender Mitchell Robinson has just laughed off the idea of Ariel Hukporti ever taking his job in the NBA. And we have to break this down because Mitchell Robinson had a crazy reaction to being asked if one of his teammates is ever going to take his job. And we're going to break it all down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. And make sure to subscribe. You guys have been killing it on the subscriber front recently. 26% of viewers are subscribed. Let's get that up. And also make sure to subscribe. We're closing in on 10,000 subscribers. Let's get it done before it's 2025. But let's jump into it, guys. Because here's the deal. If you've been following the Knicks for long enough, you know that Mitchell Robinson is very outspoken on social media. He goes out and will basically say whatever he wants. He has no qualms about arising conversations and if he should be saying what he says on social media. Mitch does not care. He understands he's an integral part to the New York Knicks and that probably is not going to change in the near future. However, he's been out all of this season, and while he's been out, Jericho Sims has mainly been the Knicks backup center, while Karl Anthony Towns has played heavy minutes as the New York Knicks starting center, and third string center Ariel Hukporti looks like he'll be a future guy longer term than Jericho Sims, and is the guy who most Knicks fans, myself included, do want to see play the backup center minutes. Hukporti's a rookie, but he's 23 years old. He played for a while overseas professional, and he looks NBA ready. I mean, the man's, when he's gone out there in limited minutes, he's looked very, very good for the New York Knicks. I love to show this clip of Hukporti absolutely yamming it down all over Evan Mobley. Now, it was called for an offensive foul, but it was an absolute BS call. And ever since then, fans have been really chomping at the bit for more Ariel Hukporti, and Hukporti's shown that he has been a very good center when this happens. But Mitchell Robinson, when told that Hukporti might take his job, I'm just going to show you guys the clip of this, because this is an absolutely absurd thing to say about your rookie teammate.
Ariel gonna take your spot, yeah, all right. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so, Mitch, what was that, man? Going out there and just laughing at the idea of Ariel Hukporti taking your spot. Interesting move. Mitchell Robinson does not really care what he's going to put out on social media. He will say what he means. He does not care about trying not to be too outspoken or anything. That's just not Mitch's style. It doesn't affect Mitchell Robinson. Mitch knows how important he is to the Knicks, and he knows that he could say stuff like this because the Knicks are still going to utilize him, as he is one of the better players on the Knicks and one of the most underrated centers in the NBA. Now, Mitchell Robinson is a very talented player. Before he got injured last season, he started out putting up 10 rebounds with 6 points, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game. Then he got injured and his numbers took a dip, but still had solid numbers throughout the year, averaging 5 points and 8 rebounds per game. Also getting a block per game, and he would be averaging more blocks, but his minutes went down after the injury, and the Knicks rolling with Isaiah Hartenstein, and basically Mitch was just playing hurt, and they want this version of Mitch. They want the fully healthy Mitchell Robinson who's getting 5.5 offensive rebounds per game, who's blocking shots, who's just being an elite low block defender. So with all that being said, the Knicks are going to hold out and wait for Mitchell Robinson, and when Mitchell Robinson's not there, it gives Ariel Hukporti more of a chance to go out there and get real minutes with the New York Knicks. Now, I think Hukporti's going to have a large role with the New York Knicks for the future. They like the way he plays. He's very talented, clearly. It's just a matter of him getting the little things down, such as some defensive issues, which isn't that he's bad at defense. It's just the way he guards people within the scheme is not what Tom Thibodeau likes, like scheme-wise. He's not icing screens, which essentially just means you're forcing someone to move. You're forcing the ball handler who's having a screen get set for them to run towards the baseline so the Knicks can play their trap defense. That's really all an ice means, in case anyone doesn't know. It is a complicated term, and I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh, you don't know what an icing the screen means? What, do you not know basketball? No, because I'm not going to be an asshole about it, guys. I don't like cursing on this channel, but that's, people who do that are such losers. Now, Hukporti's hardly really played this season, and he was the last pick in the NBA draft. In the very limited minutes, he's putting up 1.5 points with 2 rebounds per game. He's shooting 50% from the field. Obviously, these numbers are so limited that it really means absolutely nothing. But Hukporti has looked very good in these limited minutes and in the game where he actually got minutes. Here's the thing. Mitchell Robinson has also shouted out Ariel Hukporti on Instagram, though. So it's not like Mitch sees some competition here and doesn't like Hukporti. He literally said, put some respect on my dog name. And it's because Hukporti was playing well, and Mitch went out there and was showing love and respect. And we've seen this with Mitchell Robinson before. We saw him and Isaiah Hartenstein develop a close friendship, despite the fact that they were really battling for that starting center job. The two were very close. Hartenstein and his wife went to Mitchell Robinson's baby shower for his daughter. We've seen Mitch get tight with players in his position. He's clearly a nice person, and he's also a confident person. And sometimes he's going to go out there and laugh it off on social media if you think that a rookie's going to steal his job. And especially because Mitch is right. A rookie's not going to steal his job. And even with that being the case, you look at this, Hukporti's got this year on his contract and then a team option next year. I believe the Knicks are going to decline this team option and give him a longer term 3 or 4 year deal for a bargain, and then the Knicks are going to start ramping up the amount they play Ariel Hukporti probably in the 2026-27 season, as Mitchell Robinson has 2 years left on his NBA contract. And it would not be too surprising if we do not see Mitchell Robinson really get re-signed to the Knicks. Now, Mitch has this season and next season on his contract. The Knicks might want to develop Hukporti, I almost said Hartenstein. They might want to develop Hukporti the same way they developed Deuce McBride, and then the second Emmanuel quickly got traded off the New York Knicks, what happened? Deuce McBride gets this role as the backup point guard. It took him like 3 weeks to really get a feel for it, but once he did, the man has taken off and has never looked back. He's been a 40% shooter from three. He's been an awesome player for the New York Knicks, and the Knicks want to do the same thing with Ariel Hukporti if I had to take a guess at what's going on here. So, in my mind, that's what we're looking at in this situation. Now, on top of all this, we've seen Mitchell Robinson go out there and essentially make other interesting social media posts. Like after Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo got traded for Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson was officially the longest tenured Knick on the team. Now, he already was, for reference point. Mitchell Robinson's rookie year on the New York Knicks, Julius had not signed there yet. He was also the best player on the team that season. That was the season the Knicks had Porzingis, but he never actually played because he had the torn ACL. Then in January got traded for DeAndre Jordan and Dennis Smith Jr. Like, what a weird trade. What a weird time. It all worked out. Who cares? I guess me, because it sucked that they were bad, but I'm taking this team now, and I'm not thinking about the bad days of Knicks fandom right now. So Mitchell Robinson's been the longest tenured Knick, and he posted about it, and people it left a bad taste in some people's mouths. But I really do have to say, I think Mitch is going to be on this team for the rest of this season. I don't see him getting traded this season. I literally just made a video on that's live right now, so go check that one out. It's literally the video that came out right before this. Mitch is in the thumbnail of that also with Ian Begley. Now, another thing is, I think he'll be on the team next season also. But the Knicks might trade him because I don't think the Knicks are going to re-sign Mitchell Robinson in 2 seasons from now. Leon Rose has been adamant that he's been interested in trading Mitchell Robinson for a while. They tried to trade him for Karl Anthony Towns. They've involved him in other trade talks. Mitchell Robinson has been involved in trade talks over the last few seasons, and I do think that the Knicks will probably trade him before his contract runs out because they have no interest in re-signing him. Or is it that they have no interest in re-signing him, but financially it makes it really tough to re-sign Mitchell Robinson, especially when you'll have to also re-sign Josh Hart, and you know the Knicks are going to choose Josh Hart over Mitch Robinson off of what we're seeing right now. Now, in 2 years, a lot can change. 2 years ago, look at where the New York Knicks were at. It was their first season with Jalen Brunson. We all saw him as a complimentary piece to what we were calling the mid-3, and Julius, RJ, and Brunson, and then Brunson broke out, and RJ back. I mean, that season, the starting lineup was, on opening day in Memphis, Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Mitch is the only player left from that starting lineup outside of Jalen Brunson, and most of that bench is gone too. There was Cameron Reddish and all of them. It was a much different time 2 years ago. The Knicks were coming off a really disappointing season where they missed the playoffs after being expected to make it. Julius regressed and then turned it back around and was good once he had a point guard again. So really what I'm saying is Mitchell Robinson has been with the New York Knicks for a long time, and Leon Rose did not bring him in, and because of that, Leon Rose is not afraid of shipping him out, something that I do think Leon will do because the Knicks cannot afford to re-sign Mitch, and when they decide that they can't afford him, they would rather trade him than just let him walk for free. So we'll see what happens with that. But Tom Thibodeau has been outspoken on Ariel Hukporti, and it's why I think the Knicks are going to roll with Hukporti in the future. In his first game, Tibbs said, this is in the preseason, I thought Ariel Hukporti was terrific the first game he's played in. His energy and anchoring the defense was very good. Now, Tibbs has the reputation of not really playing rookies, but here's the interesting thing. As Bleacher Report noted, despite what everyone said about Tibbs' reputation, Tyler Kolek, Pacome.ea, and Ariel Hukporti make the Knicks just one of 4 teams to give at least 50 minutes to 3 different rookies so far this season. Considering the difficulties that most young players have in cracking Thibodeau's rotation, that's a pretty strong vote of confidence. Now, as I said, Hukporti has not really gotten back in the game a lot recently because he was not defending screens the right way, and Tibbs is not going to put Hukporti in until Hukporti knows exactly how to ice the screen the way that Tibbs wants it. That's just the kind of coach that Tibbs is, and we all are going to live with that, and we're going to be fine with that because we know that Tibbs knows what he's doing. He's been the best coach the Knicks have had in a long time, probably since Jeff Van Gundy, maybe Mike Woodson. It depends on where you want to go there, but essentially what the Knicks are doing is working right now. They're 10-7. They're 4th in the Eastern Conference. They're going to keep rising, keep getting better as the year goes on. Remember, they're really, I don't want to call them injury prone, but they are very injured right now, so we are seeing not a full strength New York Knicks still show up teams like the Denver Nuggets and go on a little bit of win streaks like they have in the past. Now, they had that bad loss to the Utah Jazz, but sometimes teams just lose bad games. Look, it's an 82-game season, and NBA players know that not all games matter and not all games are treated equally. The Knicks probably went to that game. It was like, we're at elevation. Frankly, who cares if we lose to the Jazz in November? It doesn't affect us at all. There's 81 other games, and we could drop this one. We're not going to go out here and kill ourselves for this game. So that's kind of what happened in my mind, but some people will probably disagree with that. But that's what I know from my following of basketball, that not all games are treated equally. Absolutely not, especially in the regular season, especially early on in the regular season. So we'll see what happens, but it's absolutely absurd that Mitchell Robinson went out here and said this. But at the end of the day, he's right. Hukporti's not going to take his job. Eventually he will, probably. The Knicks are probably going to roll with Hukporti the same way they did the Deuce for IQ thing once they traded away IQ. And I imagine next season the New York Knicks will trade Mitchell Robinson, or maybe in the offseason after they give Hukporti that bargain deal and start playing him more. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And whenever that happens, I will still be here on Knicks Digest breaking things down, or at least I hope so. Don't fire me, Ben. Shout out Ben Rogers of Raptors Digest. Guys, have a great day, and go Knicks. Make sure to subscribe. Or, if you don't, I'm going to start making videos only about Ariel Hukporti. It's going to be Hukporti Digest.